Hello, sysfailure here again. Today I'm looking at Snapshot 14W11A/B, because pretty much there was a few nasty bugs in A and B came out before I even done this video. I'm actually going to be comparing it to last week's 14W10ABC, because a couple of the changes need a comparison to show you what's going on. First thing I'm going to look at is, you may or may not know, but they've started implementing models in Minecraft, so you can actually model blocks in 3D. So there'll be the ability with such as these blocks to actually have like the dirt, but they're actually carved into them. And also that would mean that the lighting engine supports that as well, but that's not been implemented yet. But one of the things that has already been done is fence gates and these brewing stands. So this is in last week's, the 14W10C. Now we're going to do a quick blend across to the new one, 14W11B, and show you the differences. So as you can see, the differences are not really that obvious. The textures have moved around a bit on the gate, and the lighting is slightly different on them. Also, the brewing stand, you will notice the prongs have changed position ever so slightly, so they're a bit more symmetrical. So quite minor that. So now we're going to hop back into last week's snapshot, 14W10C, and we'll have a look at the other comparison features. Right then. So the next thing that I want to show you is furnace minecart, or minecart with a furnace. These pretty much have been useless for a very long time. So I've got a couple of villagers set up in carts here, and a nice little track just running off into the distance. And we can ignore this bit just this precise moment. So if we just set one down here and hope it doesn't roll away weirdly, put some coal in it, and there we go. So it's pushing our villager off, and he's just gently drifting off into the distance there. We have another one over here. We'll do the same thing, but let's just mess with his track ever so slightly. So let's do that. Oops. There we go. So we'll just put one down here, put some coal in it, and off he goes. So you'll happily get to the corner, round he goes, and round he goes again. Not bothered in the slightest, and we'll just head off into the distance there. Well, they say that the furnace minecarts have been made a little bit more useful in the new snapshot. So let's see exactly what they do. I'd say in some cases are more useful, and in some cases some of the changes to tracks are an absolute pain in the arse. Let's hop back over and find out, shall we? Right then, so same scenario as before. Our two little villagers ready to help us out here. The perfectly straight tracks. So let's get this one on this side going. Bit of coal, and bye! Now just launches them off. He seems to have disappeared totally. There he is. So he's been launched right off the end, so because I punch things away like that. So that's quite cool in a way. However, it also has another new problem. It's why do I have a monster egg? That's not what I wanted to have. That'll do for the moment. Right. It's... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Never mind. I'll come back to that. So let's get some track and do this. Now, obviously, he'll go along the track, round the corner and up there. Yes? Well, let's send him on his merry way and find out. Off you go. Nope. Straight off at the corner. That's quite happily going. Yeah, they've altered the way rails work, so if you're going too quickly when you try and go around a corner or something, you will derail and head off like that. And it also affects these T-junctions, so I'm really hoping that they tone this down, or pretty much get rid of it, one of the two. Not want to do that there. I will show you why that is straight over the junctions as well. In you get. Assume the position, right? There we go. Hit the edge of it, straight off. Won't even go straight over the damn junction anymore. So that is going to knock out a massive amount of rail systems if that stays in. So hoping that that's a bug, because that's more or less just made most rail systems I have useless. I mean, if you think about it, so you go, okay, so I'll build rail systems that are a bit slower. Well, if you push it with the furnace minecart, you're screwed. If you go, right, well, I'll only have so many powered rails, so it doesn't go too fast. I can imagine a lag glitch or something like that would go, and you were meant to be there, bang, whiz, and off. So it's going to knock out rail systems totally, which is really annoying because I'm quite a big fan of building rail systems. Final, in-game thing is a new little egg we have here. This is called an Endermite. Let's put one down. Oops. Help if we were in the right game mode. There we go. Right. So our little friend here is very much like a silverfish. See? Very similar to each other. Let's get rid of him. Where'd you go? Go away. Now, they're also a little bit more damaging. So if I get the silverfish down and... Right. Let's get his attention. There we go. So half a heart of damage at a time we get out of the silverfish. Come back here. There we go. However, let's plonk down the Endermite. And the Endermite takes off a whole heart at once. So... There we go. That was close. Far more troublesome. The other entertaining thing is, if we plonk down an Endermite, an Enderman, Endermen really hate Endermites, and they will do their best to kill them. Also, sometimes when an Enderman teleports, you will actually get an Endermite. So let's see if one of them might leave one behind. Oh, there's one. And one there. So now even when they teleport away, they can actually be dangerous. Plus, unlike the old silverfish, which will stay around forever, the Endermites will actually despawn after 2 minutes. So even if I just stay here, seal him in a box, he will disappear. I don't know if you can give them persistence to make them stay. I haven't tried that yet. But if you generally leave them alone, they will disappear after a couple of minutes. Rumour is that they also will act in a similar sort of fashion to silverfish, that they might come out of blocks. I'm not sure what blocks they might come out of. Stealing sand. I don't know what blocks they might come out of as yet, or if that's a future implementation. Final sort of things to talk about is blocks have various data inside them. So things like buttons, for example, have different data values depending which direction they're facing and whether they're pressed or not. Well, now that sort of information has actually been, what do they call it, abstracted, so that it's a lot easier to figure out rather than using the specific data. So previously, if you wanted to know the information about stored in the door, I think it was a 4-byte value, 4-bit value, okay, 4-byte, I think. It's one of the two, something like that. Anyway, it was stored as a bunch of numbers. Now if you look in the right there, it mentions what the block is and its various data information there, really easy to read. So that's a wooden door 8, that's a wooden door 1, that half says upper, that knows it's the lower half, not open, not powered, and direction is facing. If we open it, you'll see it now says it's true, and all the other various bits still say the same. Put one in a different direction, this one's facing east, that one's facing south, and that applies to everything, apart from him. So that's tall grass, 1, and that's grass, but it's not snowy. So if it was to go ahead and put some snow on top of it, it becomes snowy grass. So that's going to be very useful for mod makers, so you can actually pull the information a hell of a lot easier. So that will be, once it's sort of fully implemented, doing away with data values totally, apparently. So don't quite know what you're going to do when you try and sort of spawn blocks in. You give it a name, and then I don't know what you do beyond that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's 14W, 11A and B. So as per usual, thanks for watching and bye-bye. But this vendor's moved in and he's recommended this horny cow weed. Apparently it just ignites a passion inside them like nothing you've ever seen. He has warned me that it's a bit on the potent side, so I should really make sure to have breeding pairs to hand before I use it.